Hello, hi, hey, and welcome back to the red carpet of the Twin Cities Film Fest. I am your host, Jicarra N Holman, and today I am here with the lovely production team of Magic and Monsters. I'm sure you're wondering, what is that about? And you are soon to find out. Who do I have with me here today? Norah?
My name's Norah Shapiro. I'm the director and producer.
I'm Elizabeth Foy Larsen, and I'm a producer.
I'm Brennan Vance. I'm the cinematographer.
Okay, amazing. And do each of you hail from Minnesota?
Yes, all of us.
Yeah.
Actually. Yeah.
I love it. Minnesota made because your film
right.
is featured, and circulating around Minnesota, a Minnesota theater.
That's right.
So today you get to premiere Magic and Monsters here at the Twin Cities Film Fest. What does that mean to you to be premiering your film today?
It's an amazing opportunity to screen this film in this community. This is our premiere at the Twin Cities Film Festival. We did premiere the film earlier this year, a number of months ago. Those screenings were all sold out, and a lot of people wanted to see the film that didn't have a chance. So this is actually a remarkable opportunity, and I believe we have a full theater again today. There's a lot of need and a lot of interest in this story being told and seen.
Okay, amazing. What does this mean to you?
A lot about what Nora was saying, and I think, again, just the more people that can see and hear the story and learn about it, the more we can contribute to preventing further abuse and crimes in the future.
You know, we started 6 years ago. I think it was maybe 6 years ago this week. And for a lot of documentary productions, that's a pretty typical lifespan of a documentary, 6 years, sometimes longer. And so, to just reflect on what we've all been through as a team and what everyone involved in the film has gone through and shared, it's really gratifying and, dare I say, exciting to actually just bring it to an audience.
Now, I understand from watching your film that it definitely touched on a real event that happened here, and it also touches on, the sense of hope and forward movement. So what is your thoughts about that hopefulness and forward movement in what you are making with this documentary?
I'm so glad you asked that and that you framed it and see it that way, because it is admittedly a really challenging, heavy subject. But it was really important to us for this not to simply be a trauma-soaked, dive, and to take not just the participants in the film, but the audience into a terrible, black, bleak place. Yeah. And what I would say is that, and people can speak for themselves who were in the film, but I think the making of the film and the putting the film into the world in and of itself was a really powerfully healing thing. And then the idea is that story and those messages and that journey will provide, we've referred to it sometimes as a blueprint or a roadmap. These were some really brave individuals who were ostracized. There were whistleblowers who were effectively run out of town, and this was buried for many years. And in some ways, in this community, I'm not going to pull punches here, there are people who still don't want this story told. But in fact, the sunshine is the best disinfectant. And, the more we talk about things that have happened in the past, the more we can move on from them. And it's essential and crucial that we do so. And that's the hope. That's the hope of what happens when people do speak, when people speak their truth, when they're listened to, and when they're brave.
So what I hear you saying is, in order to get through, we have to get through.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
we do.
Well said.
And I think I still cry when I watch the film, but from a place of both sadness but also inspiration, because the participants and survivors in our film do give me a lot of hope, and I think they're role models, not just for surviving sexual abuse, but all kinds of trauma.
So, as filmmakers, how do you go about choosing what stories are important for you to tell?
That's a really good question. Sometimes, if I look backwards, I can trace a path. But sometimes also they find you, they jump out, they grab you, or your friend and colleague calls you and says, "Hey, you're showing up for this meeting. You need to talk to these people." That's sort of a superficial, quick answer, but it's really a mixture. It is. I personally have a long history. I grew up attending the Children's Theater. I was the mother of a child actor at the Children's Theater. I, in a former incarnation, was a criminal defense attorney, specifically a public defender. So obviously I have a legal background. I am attracted to stories that ask questions of systems and injustices and things that are complicated and take on big, sometimes challenging subjects. So that's kind of how I find my stories.
This is my first film, so I'm going to pass it on to Brennan.
I've been involved in several projects. I'm very lucky to have been involved in some high-profile projects, very meaningful projects. I think this is kind of the single most urgent and profound experience I've had as a professional cinematographer. I said yes immediately because Norah and I met and she explained this project, and I knew Norah to be brilliant, and I was like, whatever you're doing, I'm there for it. But as over the years that we worked on this, I realized my role was larger than just performing the technical, creative aspects of the job. It was really to be there as a witness and to be there with eyes open, but also ears open, heart open, and just support these folks that were sharing really, really brave and vulnerable aspects of themselves. And to say that I was a part of that is just one of the honors of my professional career. So how can you say no to that? I mean, so thank you, Norah and Elizabeth, for the opportunity.
Now I'm going to cry.
Oh, no, we don't want you to cry. Well, thank you so much for being here on the red carpet with me. You said you have a full sold-out theater, so we're excited to, get that support that you are deserving of. But also, thank you for telling the stories of how to see the light through darkness, telling the stories of real events that happened, and, how do we continue forward and progress, bloom from such an event. Thank you.
So much.
Appreciate it. Great to be here.
Really appreciate it. Thank you, Twin Cities Film Festival.
Thank you, Twin Cities Film Festival, for having us, and thank you so much for having me as your host. I am Jicarra N Holman, and this is the red carpet at the Twin Cities Film Festival. Make sure you continue to watch.